Welcome to the club, son.
At first glance, Commander Lyle Tiberius Rourke from Atlantis. The Lost Empire doesn't look like a villain. In fact, he looks like the kind of leader you'd want on your side, composed, confident, and commanding respect without ever raising his voice. He radiates competence, the kind that makes you instinctively trust him, and that is exactly what makes him so dangerous. Disney didn't give Rourke the usual villain's cloak of shadows, dramatic monologues, or cartoonish malice. Instead, they crafted something far subtler, a master manipulator who hides in plain sight. He doesn't lurk in corners or announce his schemes with thunder and lightning. He leads from the front, guiding the mission with a steady hand, while quietly steering everything toward his own agenda. Unlike other Disney antagonists, Rourke doesn't reveal his nature through theatrics. His calm authority and steady charisma camouflage him so effectively that by the time his true motives emerge, it feels less like a twist and more like a revelation, one that hits harder precisely because we never suspected him. So how did Disney pull this off? How did they craft a villain who never once pretends to be good, yet convinces us of his loyalty until the moment he turns? To answer that, we have to peel back the layers of Rourke's character, his carefully chosen words, his calculated restraint, his ability to disguise greed as leadership, and the chilling realism that makes him one of Disney's most quietly terrifying creations. This is the story of a villain who never needed a mask because he was the mask. From the very first moment Commander Rourke appears on screen, he establishes himself as the backbone of the expedition. He's the one who secured the Shepherd's Journal, the map that promises to lead the crew to Atlantis. He greets people with a firm handshake, speaks with calm authority, and projects the air of someone who has faced countless dangers and always come out alive. In adventure films, that kind of figure carries enormous narrative weight. He's the archetype we've been conditioned to trust, the decorated soldier, the experienced commander, the man who has been there before. When Rourke steps into a room, the uncertainty seems to vanish. Even Milo Thatch, timid and self-doubting, feels steadier in his presence. And that's no accident. Milo is everything Rourke is not. Nervous, cerebral, and emotionally open. Rourke, by contrast, is decisive, collected, and commanding. The two men form a natural contrast, designed so that Rourke fills the gaps Milo cannot. We believe in him because he looks like exactly the kind of leader this mission needs. Other films often foreshadow their villains with subtle hints of menace, a glance held too long, a smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes, a score that shifts into a darker key. Rourke gets none of that. He doesn't need it. He blends so seamlessly into the role of protector that suspicion never enters our minds. It's a brilliant deception, the villain who never hides, because he never has to. His greatest weapon isn't his strength or cunning. It's the trust he earns effortlessly from everyone around him, including us, the audience. If you go back and watch Atlantis, the Lost Empire, with Rourke's betrayal in mind, you'll notice something striking. The clues were always there. The movie never hides his true agenda. It simply disguises it so naturally that we overlook it. Take his early dialogue with Milo. When Milo gushes about what they might discover on the expedition, Rourke replies smoothly.
Yes, this should be enriching for all of us.
At first, it sounds like casual encouragement, a commander trying to boost morale, but the word enriching carries a double meaning. To Milo, it suggests knowledge and discovery. To Rourke, it means profit. It's a breadcrumb, one of many, delivered with such casual ease that we don't stop to question it. Even Whitmore, the eccentric financier of the expedition, reacts with a knowing glance, a small hint that not everyone is convinced by Rourke's noble demeanor. But as the audience, we move on. Rourke hasn't given us a reason not to trust him, and so we don't. His actions provide more silent warnings. While Milo pores over the Shepherd's Journal with awe, Rourke barely glances at it. He shows no curiosity about Atlantis' culture, history, or mythology. Where others marvel at the possibilities, Rourke seems detached. At first, we read it as discipline, the cool disinterest of a soldier focused on logistics. But in truth, it's strategy. Rourke isn't here to learn, he's here to take. He doesn't need the details of the journal, that's Milo's job. All Rourke needs is for Milo to lead him to the prize. The treasure he's already decided belongs to him. His disinterest isn't ignorance, it's confidence. He knows enough to wait for his moment, This is how Rourke manipulates the story, not through lies or grand performances, but through language, posture, and silence. He lets us fill in the blanks with our trust, while he quietly sharpens the knife. What makes Rourke so unnerving is that he doesn't act like a villain. He acts like a mentor. His genius lies not in open hostility, but in the way he cultivates trust. From the start, he praises Milo in front of the crew. He encourages him to share his knowledge, tells the others to listen, and frames Milo as essential to the mission. To Milo, who has spent most of his life dismissed as a dreamer, this is intoxicating. For the first time, someone of authority sees him, values him, and backs him publicly. But it's not kindness, it's control. Psychologists call this grooming, building loyalty through validation and praise, only to exploit that trust later. Rourke doesn't want Milo's friendship. He wants his dependence. Every encouraging word is a hook, pulling Milo deeper into his orbit. And Milo, hungry for respect, doesn't recognize the trap until it's too late. Rourke's discipline only deepens the illusion. When the crew is attacked by the Leviathan, when supplies run low, when tensions rise, he never panics.
Bring out the bibs. I want this lobster served up on a silver platter.
Load the torpedo bin. Subplug.
His calm, tactical demeanor reassures everyone that he has the situation under control. He doesn't need to raise his voice or make dramatic speeches. He wins loyalty by being the one unshakable pillar in a dangerous world. Even the makeup of the crew reveals his hidden design. They're not scholars. They're soldiers, engineers, demolitions experts. A military unit disguised as an expedition team. Rourke doesn't draw attention to this fact. He doesn't need to. When danger strikes, he's ready with precise orders, and no one questions how well coordinated they are. Because the truth is, this was never exploration. It was always extraction, and Rourke is the one who orchestrated it all. Behind the mask of discipline lies a cold, calculating mercenary. He doesn't shout, he doesn't threaten. He simply steers the mission forward, waiting for the moment to reveal what he wanted all along. The turning point comes when Milo finally uncovers the truth about the Atlantean crystal, a power source that could either preserve an ancient civilization or be exploited beyond measure. For Milo, it's a moment of awe and responsibility. For Rourke, it's confirmation of everything he's been waiting for. And then, with chilling calm, Rourke produces a missing page from the Shepherd's journal.
Oh, you mean this?
He says, as if he's been holding back the answer all along. It's a masterstroke of villainy, not a sudden outburst, but a quiet reveal that reframes the entire film. He was never following Milo's lead. He was using him. He had known the truth from the beginning. The expedition wasn't about discovery. It was about profit. With the mask removed, his words become sharper, colder. When Milo calls him a mercenary, Rourke doesn't flinch.
I prefer the term adventure capitalist.
He replies. To him, this isn't evil, it's business. Atlantis isn't a wonder to be preserved, it's a prize to be claimed. He even tries to sway Milo, playing on his deepest desires.
For once, do the smart thing.
He urges, dangling the respect and recognition Milo has always craved. But when Milo refuses, Rourke doesn't beg. He escalates, efficiently, quietly, without hesitation. The rest of the crew begins to see the truth. One by one, they step back. Audrey, Mole, Packard, Cookie, even Helga hesitates. But to Rourke, their loyalty was never the goal. They were assets, tools to be used until they weren't. His reaction to their betrayal is as cold as it gets.
If that's the way you want it, fine. More for me.
And when Helga herself becomes inconvenient, he discards her without remorse.
Next time, get it in writing.
He sneers, moments before she turns on him in defiance. It's here that Rourke finally reveals what he's always been. Not a commander, not a mentor, but a predator. And the revelation lands so hard because the film never lied to us. He never changed. We just finally saw the truth. What makes Rourke unforgettable isn't just the betrayal itself. It's what he represents. He isn't driven by revenge, jealousy, or some magical curse. He doesn't dream of ruling kingdoms or reshaping the world. His motive is simpler and therefore more chilling: greed. Rourke is the smiling face of exploitation, the soldier who treats lives as numbers, the corporate raider who sees cultures as resources to strip, the colonial mindset dressed in metals and discipline.
Best of the best.
His calm professionalism is what makes him so dangerous. He doesn't rant, he doesn't gloat, he doesn't even believe he's doing anything wrong. To him, profit justifies everything. When Milo accuses him of destroying an entire civilization for money, Rourke's reply is cold, almost casual.
Get off your soapbox, Thatch. You've read Darwin. It's called natural selection. We're just helping it along.
That single line crystallizes his ideology. He doesn't see Atlantis as a people. He sees it as inventory. To him, conquest is not villainy, it's efficiency. And in the end, his greed literally consumes him. A shard of the crystal transforms his body, turning him into a grotesque, crystallized version of himself. The man who saw Atlantis as nothing more than a commodity becomes the very thing he tried to exploit. A monster defined by the greed that destroyed him. It's a hauntingly fitting end, not dramatic, not redemptive, just the collapse of a man who never thought he could lose. So why does Rourke stand apart from Disney's gallery of villains? Because he never needed a disguise. He didn't hide in the shadows or cackle over cauldrons. He stood in plain sight, earned trust, and waited. Every clue was in front of us. The praise that felt too perfect. The crew built for war instead of discovery. The careful avoidance of wonder. He didn't twist the story. He was the twist. In a world of villains chasing crowns and castles, Rourke wanted something far more real, a payday. No throne, no empire, no magic, just profit. And that realism makes him one of Disney's most quietly terrifying creations. He may not be the most famous villain Disney ever wrote, but perhaps he's the most believable. And that's what makes him unforgettable.